I don't think we have either of the Johns here yet. Do we, John Miller and John Segars?
I've not seen either one.
Hello? All right, are we ready?
Mayor.
All right. Sheila's here, Howard is here, Nettles and Garland. Elaine is here, Bryant is here. I think we have a quorum, so we can go ahead and start.
I need to cover.
See John's iPad, so is that John Milling or John Segars?
John Milling.
And Mr. Milling, how are you?
I'm well, Mayor. I hope you're doing good.
Yes, sir, doing great. And we're waiting on Mr. Segars. He's all right. Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Thank you everyone for coming today on Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020, for our City Council meeting. And if we can get Mr. Milling, Councilman Milling, to say a prayer for us tonight.
Let us pray. Dear Father God, we ask that you give us wisdom and guidance and direction as we do the business of the city tonight. May you bless each one of us with an extra dose of what we need in order to be successful on behalf of those citizens who voted for us. Use this time as a time that we may come together and do what is best for the city, for we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Everybody can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's do this, okay? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag.
Is everybody ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America.
America.
of which
To the republic for which it stands, one nation,
One nation.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awkward on if everybody's got their mics on. And that means. Okay. All right. Number 3, approval of the minutes for the city council meeting from 5/5/20, work session 5/18, 19 and 20. So do we have for the city council meeting on 5/5/20? Do we do these separately as far as
They have to be done separately.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. Make sure. All right. Do we have a motion for approval for the minutes on 5/5/20 for the city council meeting?
I make a motion that we approve the city council meeting of May 5th, 2020 minutes at that time. I make a motion that we approve those minutes from council meeting May 5th, 2020.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh,
All
I
right.
can't get my
Do
work
we have
here.
a motion to approve the work sessions for 5/18, 19, and 20 for the work sessions?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the work session of 5/18 and 19, 2020.
I think there was 18, 19, and 20.
20, yes.
Oh. Right, it was. I make a motion that we that we approve the minutes from our work session of May 18th, 19th, and the 20th, 2020.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Good, so that's been approved. All right, do we have an approval of the meeting agenda for tonight, for June 2nd, 2020? Do we have a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve the agenda for the meeting being conducted on June 2nd, 2020.
I will second that, Brian Gardner.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
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 Approved. All right, number 5, report of standing committees. First, we have the Darlington Downtown Revitalization Association with Ms. Lisa Rock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Due to the governor's executive orders regarding COVID-19 and social distancing requirements, the DDRA has postponed its annual Taste of Darlington, our monthly members breakfast, and the Bring Downtown Live concerts. The board has suspended all improvement grants until such time that we can resume our fundraising efforts. And we're working with our radio partners and NASCAR to see if we can reschedule Darlington Family Fest. But on the good news, our annual golf tournament will be played Wednesday, June 24th at Darlington Country Club under the club's new golf pro, Jordan Henson. The State Golf Association social distance rules have been relaxed to allow for more than one player per golf cart, and this allows our event to continue. Thank you to Carolina Bank, Darlington Raceway, Fitness World Gyms, and Nationwide Insurance for their support of our tournament this year and in years prior. In the meantime, we continue to promote Darlington and businesses on social media and through our news alert system each week, which is on our website, buildupdarlington.org, and you can sign up for those news alerts to go straight to your phone or straight to your email. Now, since we are unable to have our events downtown, the concert events, we are doing a summer promotion and contest in their place to encourage shoppers to keep their dollars in Darlington. This effort to save our restaurants and eat local will give patrons a chance to win $250 in June, $250 in July, and $250 in August just for eating at locally owned restaurants in town. Simply eat local, get your brochure stamped by the business when you pay, collect 20 stamps, and mail in your brochure to be entered into the drawing. At the end of each month, we will draw for the $250 cash prize. You can enter as many times as you like, and the entries will be rolled over from one month to the next. Brochures are going to be available to print out from Facebook, as well as buildupdarlington.org, as well as at the restaurants themselves. And they should be early next week. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, very good. All right, next we have the Greater Darlington Chamber of Commerce, Nancy Matthews. Thank you for joining us, Nancy.
Thank you for having me, Mayor and Council. Brief report tonight. Our Freedom Fest that was scheduled for July 11th has now been postponed to September 19th due to the regulations of revolving around the coronavirus. So we've solidified that date with vendors, pyrotechnics, and the track. And unless something untoward happens that we don't anticipate, that will be our date. Good news is the Darlington County Takeout and Delivery page on Facebook continues to be very active, even as we open restaurants and start going about our regular lives. And so we're very pleased for restaurant owners to post their menus and their specials on that website. More good news, we will be opening the chamber building one day a week. There's some cleanup to be done due to flooding and, that we have downtown and so forth. We're working on that this week, and we hope to have that building open at least one day a week initially, and then we will gradually get back to more days of the building being open. However, the director is available by phone, and she's managing the business by phone and computer from her home. Is there any comment? Are there questions? I'm happy to take them. I do want to thank the city for the city's support of Freedom Fest, and we are very pleased with the way that's going. We are submitting expenses as they come up. So if we end up having an abbreviated Freedom Fest, perhaps the expenses will not be as great. But thank you all, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Lisa, do you have citizens wishing to appear before council? Do you have anything at that point? And I'd like to apologize to the citizens. By no means do feel sure the council agrees with me that we prefer to have to do it this way by Zoom. We would love to be there where we can see the citizens face to face, but at any time you can still make sure you're making comments in. And I have also invited people to be able to come to my office. But Lisa, do you have anything?
I do have 3 comments that were emailed in. And I would also like to mention that the public hearing on the budget and any fee increases will be held at 6 o'clock on Thursday, June 25th at the Harmon Baldwin Recreation Center, 300 Sanders Street. We will have, there will be checkpoints for your temperature, and there'll be masks and things like that available. And you may go through a screening process, but we are going to have it set up so that people can appear before council and make their heard about the budget. I just want to make sure that I got that in there. The first comment that I received was from Miss Gracie Lai. She says she is 84 years old, who lives on a fixed income from SSI benefits. The mere fact that the county is proposing to increase the water and sewer rates $9.95, the sanitation fees to $6, fair to the seniors, citizens that are relying on that income. My mom lives at 206 B Avenue since 1991, which at one time was a nice and quiet area. Now she has that sewer in front of the house that smells awful every time it rains, in which she has made several complaints, but you want to go up on the sewer fees. First and B Avenue has potholes from the constant traveling through from Dixie's 18-wheelers. She's not comfortable nor safe sitting on her porch during the days due to the activities that go on every day and night. There's a pandemic going on, and all the city can think of is increasing rates and fees. So what residential areas is the city looking out for? It's definitely not the lower and fixed income. Who's looking out for the senior citizens? Let's get through this pandemic first before you start raising rates and fees. All right, the second email that we received from council was from Ms. Gladys Jules, and she says, my open council question below is directly for Councilmember John Milling. Will you allow a company other than Davis & Brown and its affiliates to perform all work on the Joe Louis Blvd lift station? And that was the entire.
And Lisa, I think you responded to that on behalf of all of council and explained the bid process to her. And so I appreciate your undertaking to do that.
And I don't know if we can count or we can point out certain council members during council sessions. Can we, or can we, as long as they aren't disparaging comments?
They can ask specific questions, but council comment, the citizens' comments are just taken as information, and it's up to y'all if you want to respond or not.
Cool. I understand.
My response to Ms. Jules was that the Joe Louis Blvd lift station work will be bid out per federal regulations once the engineering component is completed to provide contractors with plans to submit bids. The engineering component was bid out several months ago. Council awarding the engineering portion, Davis and Brown, after a panel of staff and council members scored the submissions in February.
Thank you, Lisa.
Just want to point out also, I was not a part of council who was involved in that story.
And Lisa, would you mind emailing me the first citizen's comment since you have it written out?
I'll email them all to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the last citizen comment, which I just received this afternoon, is from Miss Janie Lathan. It's quite longer than the others, so excuse me. To Mayor Boyd and City Council, comments, questions to be submitted to the City of Darlington's Mayor and City Council during the June 2nd, 2020 City Council meeting. Number 1, before the Mayor and Council takes any additional actions to increase the fees for water, sewer, and stormwater, please answer the following questions or concerns. A, the City of Darlington, along with the world, is going through a devastating pandemic with over 40 million Americans losing their jobs, including residents in Darlington. Through the CARES Act relief bill, Congress has approved $1.8 trillion in relief for suffering Americans. In addition, numerous corporations and banks are providing debt and payment relief for our citizens. Yet in these dire times, the City of Darlington is suggesting to add new and additional fees in 3 categories of water, sewer, and stormwater services at approximately $20 a month for our citizens. This begs following the question. Why? What is driving this mayor and council to impose this additional hardship on our citizens now? Why does this have to happen now? Why can't this wait until the citizens pandemic and are at a place of more economic stability? Based on the current economic crisis, I am requesting that our mayor and council consider withdrawing or substantially delaying further efforts to increase fees in water, sewer, and stormwater services. Please have a heart and understand the struggles of so many of the citizens that voted you in to represent them. This is my dire and humble ask. This would impose a serious hardship on the people you serve and would fit well with the community. Let's review them. Poverty is an issue for Darlington constituents, especially in the AA community. The poverty rate for the city of Darlington is 21.89%. Darlington citizens consist of approximately 3,389 African Americans, whose poverty rate of 32.02%. Darlington citizens consist of approximately 2,182 whites, whose poverty rate of 7.64%, over 4 times lower than the rate in the African American community, makes up the majority of the population. Darlington citizens represent a large elderly community. The old age dependency ratio is 42.6, and the age dependency ratio is 77.8. Darlington has been significantly affected by COVID-19 compared to other cities in the county. The number of COVID-19 active cases in Darlington County is 80 as of yesterday. 51 of the 80, or 64% of the county's COVID-19 cases are in the city of Darlington. It is very apparent this pandemic has affected Darlington disproportionately. This further supports why pushing to raise fees on our citizens in the midst of this global and deadly public health emergency that affects the poor, elderly, and sick would not be wise, prudent, or fair. In summary, we must know who we are and who elected us to represent us. For the mayor and the at-large council members, please remember you represent all of us and not just the citizens in your ward. The vast majority of the citizens of Darlington is the elderly living on a fixed income or are living below the poverty level. This is why so many of us are standing up and saying now is not fees. If the city is in such dire financial strait, request every department head to go back and reduce their budget by 10%. Instead of approving yet another increase to the budget, this action alone would produce more dollars than would be gained from increasing our water, sewer, stormwater fees on the backs of our already compromised citizens. My request is that you do this and look at other options to increasing these fees as well. How many times has the city raised the water and sewer fees in the last 10 years? How many times has the city raised the water and sewer fees in the last 15 years? What is the city's current cash flow? Do the mayor and each of our council members know the balance in each of the city's bank accounts? Do you know how much money is currently in the capital budget? Does the city have a capital budget plan? If so, what is our capital budget plan? What is the current balance in our water and sewer account? Does the city have a water and sewer maintenance and management plan? If so, what is in this plan? Does this plan anticipate and plan for the numerous water and sewer line breaks, sump holes we have seen recently? If not, why not? What stormwater projects are most critical and urgent? What are the repercussions of waiting? Have we prioritized the needs within these three categories? For example, aren't the sanitary sewer issues a higher priority than creating and funding a stormwater department right now? There are so many other questions we should ask and should answer that focus on the qualifications of the persons managing our public works departments, the effectiveness of their management, and the efficiency of their systems and processes. However, my time is limited. Please know that I greatly appreciate your consideration of my comments, questions, and requests. Hence, I'm respectfully requesting a written answer to these questions and that my comments are entered as part of this meeting's minutes, as well as the forthcoming answers. Thank you. Submitted June 2nd, 2020 by Janie Lathan, resident and business owner, City of Darlington. And that is our final citizen comment.
Thank everyone for your comments and time. Thank you, Lisa, for reading those. Also,
All right. Move to number 7, unfinished business, public hearing, ordinance 2020-04-106, Blue Street zoning change, GC to R10, general commercial to R10. Is that Lisa?
Yes, sir. On your screen, you'll see the zoning map, and you'll have to tell me if you can see my cursor or not. Moving. Okay. That parcel right there is R10, and this is owned by the same person that is building some townhomes. He's purchased this property and wants to continue that townhome development. The Planning Commission recommended it be changed to R10. The neighbor that lives right here did not have an issue with that, and so we are asking for the final approval on that change. We have not received any public comment on this rezoning, other than from the property owner right here who lives here, and she did not have an issue with it. She just wanted it to stay residential. She did not want it to be commercial. So this would certainly assist her with that.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve? Do we need a motion to approve the public hearing?
You don't have to have a motion to
Motion
approve.
for that, so it's notified. Okay. Any discussion on that? Everybody good with that?
I'm fine with it. Don't we have to have a certain amount of time that we have to stay on the subject line? Or am I wrong?
There's not a time limit specifically. It's just depending on how many people or how many members of the public come with comments. The only comments we received was from that neighbor, and she was in favor of it.
Okay. I guess in that case, then I'll motion that we don't have a motion. Sorry, y'all.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to B, which is the second reading ordinance, 2020-04-106, Blue Street zoning, general commercial to R10.
need a motion for that?
I assume there'll be no discussion, so I'd like the motion that we approve the second reading ordinance 2020-04-106, Blue Street zoning from general commercial to R10.
I will second that, Mayor.
Everyone in favor?
Millie,
I like that. Gardner, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Elaine, we can't hear you.
Ms. Baccus
John Segars is here with me. His laptop went out, so I'm gonna have him sit here and record his vote.
Ms. Baccus?
Yes.
Aye. Okay, aye. Sheila, Elaine? Does she still have hers unmuted?
Elaine, you're still muted.
Need a piece of paper for it. There you go, Elaine.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Mr. Segars?
Aye.
Okay, good. Glad to have you with us. All right, so all passes. All right, so we have a pass for, all in favors for the second reading of the ordinance 2020-04-106 Blue Street zoning from the general commercial to the R10.
Thank you.
All right, and we have part C. Okay, Mr. Gardner? All right, we have for part C, the Garden Week proclamation. Howard Nettle, Garland.
I'll be glad to read that, Mr. Mayor.
I wasn't sure if Rhonda was there with you or not. Told me I saw her coming.
She is. National Garden Week proclamation. Whereas gardeners help nurture Darlington's natural beauty and resources by planting seeds and caring for plants. And whereas gardens can be a source of beauty, fragrance, and food throughout the cultivation of flowers, herbs, and vegetables. And whereas gardening can be a rewarding activity for people of all ages and levels of experience. And whereas gardens help promote a healthy lifestyle and reduce stress while serving as a tangible reminder of the rewards of hard work. Now, therefore, I, Curtis Boyd, Mayor of the City of Darlington, do hereby proclaim June 7th to 13th, 2020 as Garden Week throughout the City of Darlington, and encourage all citizens to recognize our gardeners for their contributions to positively impact our communities and the quality of life for our residents in the City of Darlington.
All right, now we'll definitely sign that in the morning. Agree to that. And we want to thank the Garden Club and the Beautification Board, everybody that goes out and helps to make our town more beautiful.
And you will notice one of their projects, this week, they have put out flags around the square, adjacent to the benches, recognizing National Garden Week as well.
Good. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for their help. All right, new business. Ag's first reading, ordinance 2020-05, business license collection. Howard?
Mr. Mayor, this is just boilerplate. It is, there's nothing as far as increasing fees. This is just a continuation ordinance letting us continue to collect the business license collections.
Okay. Any discussion on this?
None.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the first reading ordinance of 2020-05 business license collection?
I'll make a motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2020-05, the business license collection.
Do we have a second?
I will second that. This is Millie. And Mr. Garland, if you would also, in section 2, it has a date of January 20020, just a typographical, if you'll take care of that before the full reading.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone in favor?
Gardner, and I vote aye.
Philip votes aye.
Segars, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Reid,
All right, so everyone in favor and aye? All right, so we have an agreement on passing the first reading ordinance of 2020-05 business license collection. All right, we'll move on to B, which is first reading ordinance 2020-06 tax anticipation notice. Howard?
Mr. Mayor, this is just giving the city manager and clerk treasurer the authority to seek funding when we run low on cash. We have cash flow issues sometimes in December and January before the bulk of the property taxes come in March and February. So this just gives the authority, again, to the manager and the clerk to go out as needed to local financial institutions and seek bids for tax anticipation note, which we repay with property tax money when they come in February and March.
Okay, any discussion? We have a motion to approve the first reading ordinance of 2020-06 tax anticipation notice.
Mr. Mayor, John Melling, I make a motion that we approve the first reading of ordinance 2020-06, the tax anticipation notice.
Gardner, and I will second that.
I think it ought to be tax anticipation note instead of notice, am I right?
Yes, you are. Okay. And do we have a second?
Gardner, and I will second that.
All in favor?
Melling,
Reid, yes.
Sheila, yes.
Gardner, yes.
Nettles, yes.
Segars?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have approval for the first reading ordinance 2020-06 tax anticipation note. That's been approved. All right, part C, first reading ordinance 2020-07 millage rate. All right, Howard?
Mr. Mayor, this does not change any. The millage rate will remain at 128.41. This just allows us to continue to collect that on the property taxes, whether it be real property, real estate, or boats or cars.
It's a Reid here. I make a motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2020-07 the millage rate.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that. Gardner.
Okay, all in favor?
Segars, aye. Melling, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Reid, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Sheila,
Okay. So all in favor for the first reading ordinance 2020-07 millage rates? Okay, they're approved. All right, D, first reading ordinance 2020-08 water/sewer rate increase. Okay, Howard?
Mr. Mayor, this would increase water rates by 40%, sewer rates by 60%, an average of $9.55 per month for residential and commercial customers, and that the increase would take effect on August 1st, 2020.
We have discussion?
Is this the one that we just got the email from Sheila saying that we couldn't do, that we were out of order in doing the first reading? That we needed to have the public hearing before?
I would refer to Kevin Etheridge on that.
Okay.
My understanding again is that it would need to happen after the first reading. There needs to be a public hearing. It would have to happen within 15 days, I believe. It would have to be in the record, the paper of record.
Okay. So we have already, we did research it. The question came up. So we're in compliance.
Yes, ma'am. I have the first reading, as long as we do that after this step.
so the email that the Google, the research that I did, and the ordinance on the doc said we had to have a public hearing before the first reading. I sent you an email of it, but.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it, I don't see, refers that, Sheila, because I
Where's
just,
it-
I don't see
Where
that.
does it say that at?
Ma'am?
Okay, go to, when I was reading it,
Section C, I believe.
Yeah. I don't have it right here.
But that says after second reading.
Yeah, I
well, it
believe,
said, go to first reading, I read it. The order says, I got to go back and find it, because I read the whole thing and I sent it out to every council member. And you read. I'm just trying to find it where I read it at.
Sheila or council, if y'all don't mind, right before a meeting, if we email anything, if y'all could please just give me a text to let me know. Just, I
Send you a
appreciate it.
text?
Yeah, like if it's just, right before a meeting like this.
Okay,
that-
go to B. Go to B.
Okay.
Upon this introduction, each ordinance shall be put upon its first reading, whereupon the presiding officer shall first open it up for discussion from the public, and thereafter for discussion by the council. After, what?
Ma'am, what code of ordinances are you reading from?
Procedures for the introduction and passage of ordinances and resolutions. For the municipal
What is that
association, I pulled it from the municipal association. I researched it, and that's where I put it. I sent it out to every council member. I tried to send it to Howard like 5 or 6 times, but it kept bouncing back from his email. I couldn't get it to go to Howard email.
And I don't know if this is right, but if you go up to the
So
top,
I'm asking.
if you go up to the top of the email and click on the section 22-22, it takes you to Nebraska. Now, I don't know if it's just Google seeing something and making it a link, or if it was part of the article. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm not saying. That's why I'm asking questions. That's what I'm trying to get a clear understanding.
Before we go to it.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I sent it out to everybody, and I was asking questions.
Traditionally, we have had first reading so that information is passed and approved as first reading, as so that it can be put on the table for discussion. Then a public hearing has to be held before a final vote. When it's a fee increase, you have to have notification in the paper 15 days before in the paper of record, which will appear in the News and Press on Wednesday. Not tomorrow Wednesday, but next Wednesday. And then you have the second final review when it's a municipality. And we will be doing that on Monday, 9th. This is the procedure we follow for every budget and every fee increase that I've seen in the 6 or 7 years I've been on with the city, as well as I have been covering media practice.
So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just asking the question. Are we doing compliance? Are we doing it right? That's what I'm asking.
and I hate to
I'm
slow
just
everybody
making
down,
sure.
but
I'm
I'm
not
trying to
saying
look
it's
up.
right or wrong.
I've never seen this before, this thing that was sent to me, so I'm trying to look it up and then look at the municipal association. I hate to slow everybody down, but I'm fairly certain that it's 15 days notice, and then you gotta put it in the record, excuse me, I'm sorry guys, in the paper, which would be the News and Press, and then you can have the second reading after you've had this public hearing.
If that's what it is, then let's proceed on. No problem.
Okay.
I mean, no point in holding it up.
And I'll still be
Let's proceed on.
looking. If I see something during this, I'll let you know, but I'm fairly certain that's correct.
Okay, no problem. Just asking.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we have any more discussions? Do we have a motion for the first reading ordinance, 2020-08 for work/school rate increase?
I make a motion that we have first reading on, the, water sewer increase, 2020-08.
Mayor, this is Howard Nettles. I'll second that motion.
All in favor? No, but say aye. Segars, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Milling, aye.
Sheila, nay.
I'm struggling. I have received, I know this is not the time, but I do need to make this statement. I have received so many calls asking me not to support it. So just in view, I know it's needed. I want to support it, but in view of this, I am gonna vote nay.
And, so we have 4, but I don't wanna let it publicly be known that, I know that we never wanna raise anything, but, to get things done, Boyd votes yes. Aye. All right, so we have.
Just, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
this is John Milling. I would
Yes, sir.
ask between now and when we have the public hearing, that if the city administration could get us together, some figures on how things might be affected if we postponed the rate increase from August the 1st to January the 1st, or if we implemented it in stages so that we implemented only half of it in August and the other half in January to see how it would work. I know we just are, unfortunately, we are elected members of council at a point in time where everything's wearing out, and nobody is trying to take advantage of anybody, but in order to provide those services that we have got to provide, we've got to take a look at how we're going to fund them, and if we can delay it and do it in stages so that we do one at one point in time and one at the other, I would appreciate that information.
I would second that. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can. The work sessions made it out. My separate conversations with Howard Garland today make it that we're in a tough situation right now, but if there's any way we can stage this and give the community 6 months or 3 months or anything, and it's financially feasible, I want to see if it's possible.
All right. I appreciate that, Councilman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, E, first reading ordinance 2020-09, sanitation fee increase.
Mr. Mayor, this is, would increase the sanitation fee from $22.50 per month to $28.50 per month, $6 per household or business. It will take effect August 1st, 2020.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm definitely in favor of that.
Oh, boy is right.
I make a motion that we approve the first reading ordinance of 2020-09, the sanitation fee increase.
Do we have a second?
I hate raising fees, but unfortunately I need to second this.
I got to get that stuff up off the street.
We have a first and a second reading motion. Do we have all in favor? Say aye.
Segars, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Reid, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Sheila?
Nay.
Boyd? Aye.
Mayor,
Yes?
and kind of go back to what we discussed a minute ago, I think I found the pertinent ordinance. It says, after the introduction of an ordinance, any member of the council or any citizen of the city interested therein may request a public hearing which may be held at any time designated by the council prior to final adoption.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all.
All right, so we have, pass, with one name. First reading ordinance 2020-09 sanitation fee increase. F is first reading ordinance 2020-10 stormwater fee increase.
Mr. Mayor, we propose to increase the stormwater fee $2.50 per month for residential customers, and commercial stormwater rates would be based on square feet of impervious surface with a minimum of $25 per business. The fee would take effect August 1st, 2020.
So on a commercial, facility, it would be determined on the square footage of the property?
It would be based on the amount of impervious surface that they have. So, a large business that has a large parking lot is going to get charged more than a small building that doesn't have much of a sidewalk for parking.
Is it based on the parking lot as the impervious surface, or do they include the building as the impervious surface as well?
I'm going to defer to Alex Ganey on that.
It should include the building and the parking lot. I mean, you look at a place like Walmart, and you look at the size of their building, and you look at the size of their parking lot. I mean, so that's the way we based it. And in doing our research, that's how, the places around here are basing it as well.
Okay, well, let's just say I have 1,000 square foot property. What's my rate going to be after this tax?
1,000 square feet,
Yes, sir.
it's gonna be, your minimum rate is for 2,500 square feet would be 1 unit, so it'd be,
Let's do 5,000 then. Whatever number you get, I just want to know what you're multiplying by per square foot.
for 5,000 is gonna be, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it's gonna be, $25 or so plus the $3.50 per every 1,000 thereafter. So,
So $3.50 per 1,000 square feet.
that would,
5,500.
yeah.
Okay.
$3.50 per 1,000 square feet. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, with our silence, I guess I can motion.
That doesn't sound right. So if, Walmart's 125,000 square foot facility,
Yes, theirs, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Now theirs is gonna be expensive. But,
$437,000.
how much?
It's $437,500.
No, it's not that much.
Well, times 350.
I don't, like I said, I don't have the numbers right in front of each individual business. We went through and figured it up, and if you want that, we can get it to you. I don't have that spreadsheet in front of me, know exactly what each business was gonna cost. But, we can get that to you. It's not near that much. I mean, it's a lot more than $6 a month.
It's first reading, so but we need that
You
information.
can get that to us, would be good.
Yeah, we
But
can-
you said it's 125,000 square feet, Mayor.
I think approximately, the building that size is around, my understanding is 125,000 square foot is the building, that's not counting property too.
Yeah.
Walmart, what I'm being told, Walmart will be $906.43 a month. That's, she will get it off the spreadsheet that we did.
Alex, we definitely need to get those numbers for sure, because that math is not working on my calculator, so I'd just like to know how we're getting it, how we're configuring that. Sorry.
I can get you the whole spreadsheet, you can see what every business will be in the city.
Thank you, Alex.
Very good. All right. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I'm getting like $437.50. Well,
That's what I got as well.
that didn't get out for 2,500 square feet. So,
The total impervious surface for Walmart and what we calculated on parking lot, building, and everything is 647,436 square feet.
Good.
So the 125,000 is probably just the building, not including the parking lot.
Good.
Okay. So if it's all right, I'll motion that we approve first reading ordinance 2020-10 stormwater fee increase.
Okay, do we have a second?
Who was that?
Segars. Okay, all in favor? Segars, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Milling, aye.
Reid, aye.
Sheila, nay.
Boyd, aye. All in favor, but one nay.
Alex, one question.
Yes, sir.
With the stormwater fee, the anticipated revenues that we were gonna have from this, total fee, what we had previously and the increase, how much reserves or how much revenue will we have left over once you subtract out our bond and other expenses?
From what we're calculating right now, if everything goes through, we would have, roughly $52,000 a year to put into stormwater reserve.
And that's after all of our expenses, employees, bond and all that?
And everything, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, so we have a pass on, the first reading ordinance 2020-10 stormwater fee increase. All right, next, G, first reading ordinance 2020-11 -2020-2021 budget approval. I have to state that Elaine, I think for the RTA, you have to be removed from that, and I have to be removed from anything to do with the budget for the fitness for gyms.
So, Mr. Mayor, I would suggest that everyone vote on the 2020-2021 budget minus the Fitness World Gym and minus PDRTA, so everyone could vote on that, and then, depending on how you want to go, then you would vote on RTA first with Ms. Reid abstaining, and then vote on the Fitness World with Mr. Boyd abstaining.
So, Mr. Gardner, if, go ahead.
Go ahead. Push it.
So, Mr. Gardner, so if we're gonna vote on the Fitness World Gym, are we gonna vote on whether we're gonna put it out for bid and let everybody bid and then go from there? Or are we just voting on whether we're gonna?
Well, why don't we take just the 2020-2021 motion with everything else first, then RTA, and then you can bring up about Fitness World. Let's handle it like that.
Okay.
I'd like to motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2020-11 -2020-2021 budget approval minus the Fitness World employee gym membership contract and minus the PDRTA, and please correct me. It's PDRTA funding.
No.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second. Reid, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Milling says aye.
Gardner is aye with the stipulation that Howard gets us that information that John Miller requested earlier.
Figures aye.
Sheila, aye.
Reid, aye.
Boyd, aye. Okay.
Now, do we have, any discussion on, with the budget for the PDRTA? And do we have a motion to pass the first reading of the ordinance 2020-11-2020-2021 budget approval, for the PDRTA?
I'd like to motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2020-11-2020-2021 budget approval for the PDRTA funding.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Segars, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Milling, aye.
Sheila,
Nettles, aye.
Boyd, aye.
Sheila was not entitled to vote on that one, was she?
No, it was Lane.
you got your people mixed up.
It was Elaine was quiet.
You gotta forgive my hearing, it doesn't work all the time.
Okay,
No, it does, but we won't hold it against you.
all right, do we have a discussion for the first reading ordinance of the 20-11-2020-2021 budget approval, with the fitness world gyms, and I will abstain for that.
So my question is, should we put this out for bid? And not saying that, Curtis don't have the right to bid, and nobody's saying that. I'm just questioning, I think it should go out for bid and then see what we get back and see where we stand.
If y'all want to do that, we'll do it.
My question just purely was that, is that according to the ethics things, I just assumed that, members of council could not, enter into any financial contract.
And the ordinance on that, Elaine, is 5/21/30, and since we're under 30,000 residents, there can be a process by when you put it out for public bids, and if at that point Curtis's was still the bid that won, he would have to get unanimous consent of council.
So, okay, so this ethics thing is just based on the population? The number of people?
Well, if it's over 30,000 people, then there's a different process, but if it's under 30,000, which we are, then there's that's the process.
Oh. Okay. You know what, it just was a blanket thing to me when I was in that, I came out thinking that as a member of council, I could not enter in any kind of contract with any kind of, where it would have a financial, a benefit to me.
Well, it is all frowned upon, but there's two things here. It was, I think, entered into prior to Curtis becoming mayor, and there is this process by which an individual can have contracts with the city, even if he's on the council or a mayor, as long as it goes through this process of putting out public bids. And if at that point it's still the lowest bid that wins, it has to get unanimous consent of city council. Every person on the city council has to vote yay on it.
All right, okay.
So based on the law, then Mr. Gardner has to put it out for public bid.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know what I have to do with it.
Oh, no. She was saying Garland, I don't think she meant Garland. Another one getting mixed up.
I said, Garland.
We'll put it under here.
Kevin, is it my understanding that if the contract is in place before he actually is a public official with the city of Darlington, then we have the option to honor it? What's the word?
You can. I mean, you can do that. Yes, but you can also put it out for public bids if you would like. And again, if it's the lowest bid, and you decide to go along with it, then at that point, it would have to be approved by every member of, council.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And this would be a contract to provide gyms availability for,
Yes, sir. Gym memberships to, city employees.
and the only other option is the YMCA. Is anybody else who would have a gym that would be large enough to handle city employees?
Not in Darlington.
Do y'all know the prices between the two bids and what year that bid was taken?
It
I
was
do
either,
not.
it was either 2008 or 2009. Ms. Hines, when she was councilwoman, pushed to have that done. And Curtis was the low bidder by $50,000 or so, or might have been more.
Curtis, do you mind publicly saying how much your bid was?
The city pays me 49.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's public record, I don't care.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm not sure if you're allowed to actually talk in this process. You're not supposed to say anything, so I'm sorry.
You asked me, I didn't know.
It was my fault, and I apologize.
Yeah. He just needs to say
I'm not supposed to vote on it, but I don't know if I can talk on it or not.
You
I
can't
think
even
it's
talk.
best you abstain from every aspect of this,
You
Mayor.
can't talk.
And I think that's public record, though, Bryant. I think it'd be easy. I don't know how easy, but I think it'd be something to get fine.
I noticed that I think I saw our treasurer on here. Does anyone have this answer besides Curtis, since he can't talk? Where's our treasurer? I thought she's here.
Yeah, and I've been told there's another health club in Darlington, that there's a Darlington Health Club run by Mike Gainey, so we can solicit a bid from him also if you wanted to go that route.
Do we have how much his contract was?
The original contract was $4,000. It was increased by $950 when a request was made to include retirees and their families several years ago.
Okay. So the other bid was $54,000?
I don't have it in front of me, I'd have to look it up.
Okay. I mean, at $4,000, how many employees do we have?
Right now, I believe we have 89 full-time, but it also included, I believe, part-timers, crossing guards, and their families, children, spouses. So probably anywhere from 150 to 200 that could benefit.
So I'm gonna say 175 people. Is that a fair number?
Yes.
And you're talking 175 that could benefit, but how many actually use it?
We'd have to ask to get a rundown for that. I don't know that.
I mean, I think that would be a finance question. What we want to keep using, if it's a question of how many people use it. But total employees that it covers is 175. He's saying $22 a month a person. I don't care either route. The contract was entered in before he was publicly announcing his run for mayor. It looks like by about 6 or so years, at least, or 6 or I believe that's right. So I've got no problem continuing this contract if he honors the rate. I assume if the rate was to go up, that maybe then we would need to bid it out in fairness to the public. But as of right now, it seems to be a low rate per person. But if council's interest is to bid it out, I'll support whatever y'all's majority's interest is.
Just
Well,
for
Mr. Gardner, I have
informational purposes, I think Don Segars uses the YMCA as well. I've just got my own membership as a single individual, and it is either $36 or $38 a month for that single membership, and John Segars may be able to tell us what it is for a family member.
Family membership now is about $57 a month.
Well, also, you have to consider capacity. I mean, a local gym in town can have capacity, even if there's 50% of those employees who want to go with their families or whatever. No one else has capacity to accommodate that, in my opinion.
But if we're looking at prices, it sounds like it's at least $14 less expensive for the city.
Mr. Belling,
For what I'm paying.
Mr. Belling, Brian
Yes.
Gardner's numbers were miscalculated. That price that it's per year. Not per
Well,
year.
I'm gonna make a motion to enter into a contract, Fitness World Gym, provide gym memberships for the employees of Darlington, city of Darlington.
And I'll second that, and I do apologize, Curtis. You are definitely correct. It was for the year, $22. Thank you, and I'll second that.
So do y'all realize, well, we got a motion on the floor, go ahead.
If you have discussion, I'll be happy to let you have it, Councilwoman.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, based on what the lawyer just said, in order for this to be approved and accepted, it takes a unanimous vote.
And that's after a bid, and I don't think we've done a bid, isn't
I'm
this?
trying to get Kevin. What happened to Kevin?
I'm right here.
So if we vote on this now, does it take a unanimous vote to pass this?
If you put it out for public bids,
Uh-huh.
it does take unanimous.
That's not the question. I'm sorry to interrupt. That is not the question. The question is,
Hold on. If not, you're just extending a contract and it would not require that.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, 'cause I think our procurement laws, I think we're supposed to put everything out for bid. We're not supposed to just continuously give businesses privileges constantly without giving other businesses the opportunity to bid. I mean, our ordinance and our procurement require us to put contracts out for bid, not just give them to people just because.
correct me if I'm wrong, Howard Garland, but if a contract is less than $5,000, don't you have the authority to spend $5,000 or less? Anything over $5,000, you then have to get our authority?
The ordinance says that, yes, it does.
Anything over 5,000, you also have to get a bidding, but anything under 5,000, you do not have to get a bid for. Is that correct?
It depends, but with this being a new situation here, I'm not sure about the legality of it. It's
Take the mayor's position and this gym out the equation.
That's correct. That's correct.
My question is, if it's less than $5,000, you can spend it without a bid process. If it's above 5,000, we have to bid it out.
That's correct.
But this is a different situation, that's what I'm trying to get a clear understanding.
I understand that. I'm just trying to make sure I have a clear understanding before I vote.
I mean, I'm not singling nobody out, I'm just trying to be correct and do it correctly.
I understand.
That's my point.
And I hope you understand. I'm not trying to debate you or your points. I'm just trying to clarify the situation for us all.
And I don't want us to appear that we're ignoring what is thought of. You know, if it is something that Howard would do, would it have to be a part of this budget?
Technically, Howard could sign this all on his own, but this is part of the budget, and I guess
You could make a motion to extend the contract or not proceeding if that's something, how y'all want to go about it.
Is there any more discussion? If there's no more discussion, I'd like to call for a order after vote. I think it's been first and seconded. Who was the second? I believe I did the first motion.
I think I made the motion and you seconded it, Brian.
Okay. Well then, if we could please.
And the motion is what?
Continue the contract with Fitness World gyms for memberships for the city employees of the city of Darlington, South Carolina.
So my question is, before it goes on, I just want to put this on record. So you guys are saying that you prefer not to put it out for bid to allow other businesses in Darlington to have an opportunity to bid on this. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that under the circumstance, with there being nobody other than Mr. Boyd and the YMCA, and we know that based upon rates I pay and the rates that Mr. Boyd charges, that his rates are less. So I am comfortable with continuing the contract that he has.
But I thought, didn't I hear how
Not because he's the mayor of the city of Darlington, but because he is able to provide the service at a lesser price for the employees of the city of Darlington, and thus the city gets the better deal.
So didn't Howard just say there was another gym in Darlington as well? I'm just getting the understanding here. So we're assuming we know what YMCA is going to say, and we're assuming we know what the other gym is going to say. So that's what we're doing.
What other gyms are there that you're proposing?
I'm not proposing any gyms. I'm just asking what gyms we have.
What other gyms are there that you feel like are not having an opportunity?
Howard said there's another gym in Dallas.
Mike Anderson has a Darlington Health Club, but it's located physically in the county. It's not within the city limits. I'm sorry, Mike Gainey. Mike Gainey, Darlington Health Club is in the county, not the city.
So
I've just had a couple of members, and I apologize, Mike Gainey, but I just had a couple of members who said that it's not big enough to take care of all the employees. I don't know if that's true. I've never been in there, but I trust this person.
Well, that was my point too. Mr. Gardner was saying that they don't have the capacity.
Well, I don't think all the members, all the employees go to the gym at the same time.
Same time.
They all don't go at the same time.
The move.
That don't even make sense what you just said.
Mr. Segars, as Mayor Pro Tem for the presiding officer, and I call for a vote.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second that we extend the current contract that Fitness World has with the city. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Millie, aye.
Gardner, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Reid, nay. I want y'all to fit.
Sheila, nay.
Segars, aye. And the motion carries.
All right, thank you. Am I allowed to say anything now or not?
Depends on how nice you are, Mayor.
Can I be specific about what so the public knows what the deal is?
Mayor, you have the contract. I don't think there's any prohibition from your making a statement that you consider to be appropriate.
And you're right, but just, I think most of it's been touched on there, but if you feel a statement's needed.
Well, I would like to give the numbers. There's approximately 200 people that have availability. There's 193 people that have access to the gym, as everybody also has, which comes out to around $2 or so a month. There are 68 people right this moment that have been actively using the gym. So if you just calculate those 68 people, Fitness World Gyms is charging $6 a month per person to use the gym in any location. So I just want to make sure that also that this has been put in place for years, that it's not something that I did just recently. I've always tried to help the city employees. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
All right, first reading ordinance of 2020-12, bulky refuse fine.
Mr. Mayor, I can take this. This is something that was covered at the previous council meeting and some of the work sessions. The bulky refuse section 70-2 would read as follows. The city will not pick up appliances such as, but not limited to, refrigerators, ranges, water heaters, freezers, dishwashers, trucks, compactors, washers, dryers, air conditioners, and commercial large appliances. The city will not pick up furniture or any household items all of which must be disposed of by the owner, occupant, contractor, or vendor. In addition, Section 70-10, the city inspector is authorized to write citations for those violating this ordinance. Each offense will be punishable with a $100 fine.
Any discussion? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the first reading ordinance of 2020-12 bulky refuse fine?
Take a second.
No. I guess I'll motion. Yeah, I'll motion for the first reading. Ordinance 2020-12 bulky refuse fine.
Boy. It's already been, I second it.
Thanks, Segars. I think Segars has seconded.
Okay.
All in favor?
Take a lie.
I Reid, aye.
Millie,
Boyd, aye.
Aye.
All in favor for first reading ordinance 2020-12 bulky refuse fine? Aye. First reading ordinance 2020-15 COVID-19 emergency ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, this gives the council the authority to hold the Zoom meetings over the internet for another 60 days. Given the amount of cases we've had in our zip code, council or our staff recommends that we approve this in case we need it.
I agree.
Elaine, you make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the first reading ordinance 2020-13 for the COVID-19 emergency ordinance.
Millie will second.
I guess I'm
All in favor?
Gardner, aye.
Take a
Millie,
lie.
aye.
Reid, aye.
Hold 1 second. I'm sorry, that's something I did. All right, so we have all in favor of the first ordinance, 2020-13 COVID-19 emergency ordinance. All right, Jay, farming agreement for Franklin Gleason, Ball Fields property. Any discussion? Any questions on that?
No.
I'd like the motion that we approve the farming agreement with Frank Gleason for the ball fields property.
Reid, second.
All in favor?
Gardner, aye.
Take a lie.
Reid, aye.
Millie, aye.
Nettles, aye.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, let's show that any monies that are received from Mr. Gleason will go into the hospitality tax collections account.
So I'd like to note that the price that he gave us is for a year, but he's only getting it for the last half of the year, so that was very nice of him also.
And Mr. Mayor, I think we had been previously advised that he had rented the farmland from Mr. Curvin prior to the city's purchase.
Correct, and all the other farmers I talked to said you typically leave it with the same farmer, so. All right, so we had discussed it with other people. All right, so we have a passing for the farming agreement, Franklin Gleason, Ball Fields property. All right, K, portable storage purchase, portable stage purchase, for me. Donnie and Dwayne Weatherford have a portable stage that they presented as it opens up like the one that we've been borrowing and renting, I think, from the city of Hartsville. It's a little bit older one, but everything works well on it. it can be made into a very nice looking stage, very presentable stage for the city to be able to use. Just wanted to bring that forth. If we're interested in using that to save money from having to rent one every years, or also being able to actually rent it out if you wanted to take it rent out to make additional money on it. But they're asking $20,000 for it. Just brought it to the table for discussion.
Where would the $20,000 come from?
Howard?
That would come from the hospitality, collections account.
Lisa, what do we normally pay for the rental? And how many times a year do we normally use it?
Well, currently, with COVID-19, we haven't been able to use it, but
Typically.
we'd certainly love to use it for more events. It typically costs us, including insurance, around $1,100 to $1,500 for one event, for one night. If you use it longer, it costs more. So, $1,500 a pop, divided by 20,000, you'll make that up.
And how many times do we use it on average, on a good year, or average year?
Well, if you use 1,500, that'd be 13, 14 times. That's at least once a month. You figure Sweet Potato Festival, the rate events.
How many times have we been using it? Well, that's what he's asking, as well. I was asking. I mean, how many times have you normally rented it in a year for one parcel when you were renting? I know if we had one, we could use it more.
We have not used the one in Hartsville as much as we would like because of the cost. The Sweet Potato Festival doesn't always use it. They have their own, the Pilot Club has a stage, and we've been using that for the concerts downtown and for some other things, but it's certainly not the same kind of size or usefulness as the kind of stage that you're discussing.
The one they have opens up just like Hartsville's. It opens up electronic hydraulic.
Certainly that kind of stage is a requirement for some bands, especially if you're trying to get somebody that's not just a local person, if you're some kind of regional act, so Freedom Fest or any kind of events downtown. We could also use the current stage that we have in addition to this and make the events bigger by having two stages of activity.
Guys, I don't want to come across as harsh, but I don't think that's, and I know it's a different bucket of money and everything, but right now when we're talking about increasing fees and some different rates, I'm really not comfortable purchasing that. I mean, if we're using it over time, I understand, but maybe we can try to look for some private funding or something like that for it, and I'll be happy to spearhead some of that, but I just can't go for spending that kind of money right now when we're in the situation that we're in. Sorry, just my opinion.
Could we check with the Weatherfords while we're considering what's going on and see what their cost would be to let us lease it as we need it?
Sure.
Can we also get the cost of a new one?
Sure.
The cost of the new one has, previously we've investigated this and it was something like $80,000 or $90,000.
Not knowing how many events we can host this year, I'm a little bit like Howard Nettles, spending the money when we don't know that we can use it.
Well, I'm real. No comment.
I think we need to try to have one at some point.
I agree with you, Mr. Millen, and I agree with you, Mr. Nettles. These are one of the things that, the only reason I brought it up, because I've looked for them numbers of times, and it's rare and far and few between to find one that of this size that opens up that way and functions the same way as the one at Hartsville does for that kind of price. But again, I agree, we've got a lot of things to go on, and
Right.
I just wanted to, while I was here, I wanted to present it. That was that.
I understand. Maybe we can ask him if he'll give us 90 days or 180 days. Tell him to store it for us.
I think we just need to table this one.
All right, no problem. Just wanted to present it.
Lisa, please get that other information to us if you can.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, outside dining, public square, Councilman Gardner.
I'm gonna pass this over to Rhonda if she's still at your office. Howard,
Yes, she is. You're just
she's
second.
way more eloquent than I am.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm really just here tonight to talk about parklets and an opportunity to place them downtown. Parklet typically takes up 2 parking spaces. It allows additional seating that can be used by restaurants, folks bringing, doing their takeout, being able to sit outside and still keep the 3 to 4 foot walkway between the restaurant and where the parklet is. It's basically a raised platform that is in the street. These are temporary structures, so they can be moved. It may be in 6 months. You may want to move them to a different area to take advantage of, let's say, a new restaurant opening up, or if there's an event down on Pearl Street where you want more dining down in the Pearl Street area. And I had presented, it was a 2-sheet information page. I don't know if you've received that.
Lisa, can you pull that up on the screen?
I don't have that available at this moment.
I thought we got that to you yesterday.
No, I didn't even get that this was on the agenda tonight.
Alrighty. Well, it was in our council packet. Well, council, I believe that I had emailed y'all or text messaged y'all pictures of what she's described. The email that she sent has essentially the same diagram of that stuff. But these are just to give us some more outdoor seating. COVID stuff going on, people kind of want to get out, but also maybe be fearful of getting in the restaurants. And this would just be another option to bring people out and get the picture of what's happening more. Email she sent. I'm getting reverberation now. So anyways, it's something that we might could kind of increase the foot traffic, and it's I think a beautiful thing for our downtown square. I know a couple different ones of us have ideas of limiting the car traffic and expanding the sidewalks. This is just a cheaper entry level investment for the community that will give us that same effect. But it also can be temporary, be moved around as Ms. Rhonda had suggested.
So it's like a portable setup, a portable what? I mean, and it's on the sidewalk?
No, it's where your parking is. If you were to take 2 parking places and build a portable, like a little deck, let's call it.
Okay.
The deck would be at the same level as the sidewalk. And on that little portable deck, you would be able to put tables and chairs and potted plants to act as a barrier between the traffic, the road traffic, and then, the folks that would be sitting in this area. And trying to keep social distancing in mind as people are walking up and down the sidewalks, it's not going to block that sidewalk area. In other cities around the nation that have done this, they found that they've had a 30% increase in people using those particular, using those areas, those sidewalks the surrounding businesses have seen up to a 20% increase in, people coming into their shops and being in that area. It just makes it more inviting. And rather to close down an entire street at this time, as Mr. Gardner had mentioned, it makes more sense to try it out, see how it works, and see if this is effective for future renovations to the downtown area.
It's literally just a mini stage that's portable that makes the trip hazard of walking off the sidewalk into the parking space disappear. So when you walk off that sidewalk, you're walking on level ground. I believe that the stage is even on an angle, so that the dip that you have from the stormwater as well is taken out. So it's just flat extension.
I was just thinking about it if it happened at the Mexican restaurant right there on the corner. Would that be a hazard?
I think with that tree right there and the concrete barrier around the tree, that would be actually a great location because it's a little bit more safer. But if you also look on the stuff that me and Ron had emailed you, you'll see that they have barriers on both ends of it, also for the safety of the individuals. If you also look on the diagram, you'll notice that they also have those planters that go the whole length of the property that will be the parklets as well, for the safety reason as well, so that the individuals have a barrier between them and the cars.
You're proposing that the city buy these, put out there, and then they would just be there for a week or 2 weeks and then move to another location or stay at that location?
I mean, from the conversation, my initial thought is we do a joint investment, but funding is very tight for everyone right now. And with this being something that's on our public square, I think it's something that the city should invest in. And the reason being is we want everything to maintain the aesthetic, the beauty of our downtown square is uniform. So my personal feelings is that we should invest in these ourselves and allow it to be open to the public and restaurants. If putting it out in front of the restaurants, I think they would need to agree to keep it clean if their patrons are using it. But if we own it ourselves, we can maintain the look of it, and that will allow it to be uniform throughout the whole community. I don't think they should be temporary unless they're just not used. I think this is something that we keep out long term. Now, if we have another event, maybe we'll want to move it at that point. But I think that it's theoretically possible we can put one around Fahrenheit for their use, one at the Mexican restaurant, and at Gin and the other restaurant that's beside that. On Pearl Street would like one. I think that would be a fair investment for us as well.
So my question is, if they put 3 around the square, that would take up 6 parking spots. Would it be permanent? I know they're not permanent, but you're saying basically leave them there permanently. Would it cause an issue with losing parking spots? Or I agree with you. I think it would look wonderful, but just as a question.
Yeah, I agree with you. You are going to sacrifice a couple parking places for each one of these if we install one at the 2 different locations on the square, so you would lose those parking spaces, and it would be permanently. But I think that just is another reason that we can work on our relationship with the county, truly ask for them to not, for their employees, not park around the square, and you would save many more parking spaces than what we're going to take up. If we were to maybe enforce that up a little more, the minutes on the parking with 15-minute or 2-hour areas, and unfortunately, you also might open up some more spaces from what some of the business complaints have been to me in the past.
What's the cost on these things, on the spots?
I don't have a company cost. I mean, this is something I suggest we go get 3 or 4 bids. But from what I saw, it was estimation at $8,000 per parklet.
Ryan, how do they work with the water and everything? That would just kind of flow under it or around it or something, so it doesn't have any problem there, right?
The water flows under it.
Okay.
It includes a table also, or is it just the deck, or you put a table on it?
You please do not hold me to any numbers. I assume that 8,000 figure does not include the tables. So you would have to purchase tables and flowers and stuff for the surrounding, I guess. I don't know what they're called, structures. What's council's opinions?
I like it. So,
Is it something that, if you build it out of that composite wood to where it would look, I mean, I'm trying to visualize it in my head because I don't have the text in front of me, but I'm assuming it's like a deck, correct?
Yeah, I assume it's like a deck. That's right.
And is it not where we can have someone professionally build it in that spot where it's still pickable, pick it up and move it, basically build a table and everything right there stationary to where it would be permanent almost, but it's still movable?
I'm not a carpenter, so I couldn't because there's the angle from the stormwater. But any carpenter, I'm sure, in theory, could do it. There just might be a liability that they would then absorb, making it themselves. But I'm not clear either.
Perhaps we can take a look because we have departments in the city that do various types of maintenance and construction and see what it would cost for this to be done by some of our city department people and see whether they feel capable in doing it and what they think it would cost to get a couple of these things built. People like Alex Gainey, I'm assuming, have seen the drawings, so since he is a contractor and my former codes enforcement officer, he may have some opinions.
Brian, are there any places kind of close by within driving distance that have some of these that we can look at? I'm willing to take a drive and see how they look.
Yeah,
I like the idea.
I think I sent y'all the email. If I didn't, I'll make sure I do it when we get done with council. But I believe I sent y'all an email with Charlotte, North Carolina, and what they've done. They have a whole form online that you could read. So if you're a business owner who wants to add it in your area or a neighborhood that wants to add one, they've got all kind of varieties and stipulations as far as how you can implement it for the city. But I also would assume my sister says they're all over the place in Charlotte, so you can go there. I'll be happy to get you a restaurant so you can see a street view maybe.
Yeah, because I just checked my emails. I'm not seeing anything from you, so I don't know.
I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not sure.
If you remember the other night, whenever I sent this same idea, I sent it all by text.
It was in a text then?
That's right, to the group.
Okay, I'm looking at emails. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I misspoke. It was me that said that.
No problem.
Reid, do you remember? I remember you commented on it. I'm trying to look up.
Just resend it to us. I think it's a great idea.
but it would look good.
I think a carpenter could do it out of that composite wood. I think a carpenter could do it out of the composite wood and build you a really nice, planters and all on it. I don't know if it'd be cheaper or less, but
I would be fine with a carpenter building the floor. I would want to ask that we purchase cement planters or something that's a little more substantial,
yeah.
So that if a car was to jump the first barrier, that once they hit the actual planters, it's a little bit more substantial to maybe absorb it as a secondary safety measure. But besides that, I'm fine with that.
You may be able to look at the existing planters that you already have on the square that are acting as protection to the sidewalk from cars coming up. Those may be able to be moved out onto this platform area as well. So just food for thought there.
Okay. Very good. I think it's a great idea. So we'll go ahead and look at that.
So I guess we'll empower Alex Gainey to see if he can feasibly build it.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy to look at it and see. I mean, I've never seen one, but I'd be more than happy to look at it, look at some plans or something. I'm sure that with 20 years experience, we could figure out a way to do it. I have to look at it and see what we can do.
Yeah. Brian, if you'll resend it, make sure we have it, Alex and I just texted, we'll ride somewhere and look at them together and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And if you just Google parklets, Parklet, on your phone, you'll see all sorts of, click on images on the internet, you'll see all sorts of different varieties, and information on there regarding, construction as well, Alex.
And if you just add the word Charlotte, it'll come up to show you what their requirements are from the city's perspective.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Thank you for your time.
All right, very good. I'll let you write that down. All right, received information from the department head reports. We have information. Is there any discussion on those or questions for the department heads? Okay, no discussion, no questions? All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Any council comments?
Yeah, we have the park on Chalmers Street that we grass. The grass is getting really high over there. If we could get somebody in our our street department, I'm not sure whose responsibility that park is, to get that grass covered, cut, and just general notice grass is growing quick with all this rain, so let's just make sure we keep ahead of it.
I'll get with Howard and see if he wants us to do it or if Parks and Recreation's gonna do it. We'll get it taken care of one way or the other.
Alex, you're talking about the
And
alley
Yes, ma'am.
along that same area that Brian is talking about. There is that trail up there. Is it any way the city can move that? It's such an eyesore. And see, we were the ones, when I say we, meaning the city tore down that space, and the owners of that have passed. I mean, they have died. I think the kids still may have ownership, but no one's here.
Yeah, we can.
Is there any way we can see about trying to get that moved?
Yes, ma'am, we'll get it out of there.
Thank you, sir.
And Alice, I spoke with the, it wasn't the engineers, but it was the workers on Simmons that were there today at the bottom of the Hill Subway, and they were supposed to be back to try to cut pathway in the back of the property at Chalmers Street where it was flooding, and we got all that pumped out and dug out temporarily to help them out. And they were supposed to also be back, they said, to take all the tarps up around from all the drains.
Okay, yeah, Howard told me that the contract was supposed to be coming out, and I was, under the impression that he was gonna call me when he came, but I'll touch bases with him and find out when they're coming so that I can let him know what my thoughts are.
Well, they're supposed to be there tomorrow, right, Howard?
That's correct. The contractor for that job is
Mine is frozen, so I
Pike.
don't know.
Yeah, Lansdowne Earth and Pipe's supposed to be on site tomorrow to look at that project. That project is under warranty, for the next year and 2 months, I believe.
Okay, I'll give him a call first thing in the morning and find out what time it's gonna be there, so that I can meet with him so we get these issues addressed.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And also, I would like to note that PD Junk again is going out for me to remove a good bit of stuff out from some of the streets that has been left out, mattresses and stuff again. I know we passed that ordinance for the first reading tonight, so that's a desperate need there. So I appreciate their help for going out and doing that for us at no charge. Assistance, clean things up. All right. Before we adjourn, Thursday, June 18th, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Those dates have changed, Mayor.
Change the 25th, right? That's what Ethan said. All right, so it's a change on the agenda there. Thursday, June 25th of 2020, at 6 p.m. will be a public hearing, 2020-2021 budget at the Baldwin Gym. Tuesday,
It'll be Monday, June 29th.
the second one for the special city council meeting.
The special city council meeting will be Monday, June 29th.
So please make a note of that. Monday, the change is Monday, June 29th. The change on the agenda, at 6 p.m. for the special city council meeting, and, we will know by then whether or not it will be announced, it's going to be by Zoom, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And then Tuesday, July the 7th, 2020, 6:30 p.m. the monthly, meeting for city council, will be announced also whether or not it will be, input or, Zoom. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion that we adjourn.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Uh,
Gardner, aye.